Hey all, it's me, Laura B. At Craft and See with Laura B. Excuse me. I know it's been a while. I've had, today marks a week. Oh my gosh, a week since this whole blah 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 started. Anyway, I am in here. I'm in here. I'm so sorry. I am here to bring to you my newest junk journal that I'm making out of Petal Elizabeth over at Petals and Parchment, her kit Gladiolus. And the whole thing started, I know that glare, with this freebie. You know what? I cannot honestly remember how I got turned on to this. It might have been over in Suzanne's Nonstop Paper Crafts Facebook group. Anyway, Petals and Parchment, somebody turned me on to her Ko-fi site, Ko-fi, and for this freebie, and I just saw the kit and went, oh, which you can see right here, page 1, you know. So anyway, here is the freebie. If there's another part of the freebie, I don't know, because I decided that I loved it so much I was going to support her, and so I think I get everything unlocked. I don't know. This is the first time I've done that, and I just can't figure out what's going on. Anyway, so Gladiolus. And these aren't even my favorite flowers. I mean, I'm a tulip and daffodil girl, but I fell in love. So let's take signature 1. We'll go through this, and while I try to remember to tell you a little bit about what's going on. And I did double side these with some of the backing paper and just randomness that I could find or try to find. I also have several Birds and Blooms magazines that I never looked at, and so I included those as well. Now, when I sew all this in, I tend to cut along here so that you can actually unfold that page, or I don't know, maybe I won't, and it can be a big pocket. I don't know yet. That's the beauty of it. So I made out of a dies that I have. Oh, look, they're right on top. I don't have to look far. These stackable pocket dies. I did something different. So there's they can make a huge one and a little small one. So there, it's twofer. You got a twofer there. And this, as you can see, is just a pocket thing that they want you to send away for. I apologize. I am kind of all over the place. I have just been exhausted. Let's see what happened. The water heater in the main part of the house, Joe's bathroom and the kitchen, decided to start leaking. And of course then there's black mold behind it. And so in the last week, here is the real quick, I did this on all 3, you know, obviously different photos, or different pages, but I went ahead and printed the same thing out in on tracing paper. Now, I honestly was thinking about like tacking them down, but it really gives it this double vision look that I don't like, so I just left it like this. Anyway, so the happenings are going on, you know, in the room next to me. So they came out, they replaced the water heater, and then the restoration people came out, and then they did their assessment, and then they came back and they pulled out part of the wall, and then set up these big, huge fans and taped off the dining room. It's not the whole dining room, it's just most of the dining room. There's like, you know, I don't know, like 1.5 feet of walk room where Joe's table is, and what else? So they came back yesterday. I wasn't expecting it. More on yesterday. Here's going to be another pocket we're going to do out of a junk mailer. And so at the same time, I decided last week, well, the faucet in my bathroom, the bathroom faucet, you know, sink, is leaking. and it has been leaking, and you know, and now it doesn't really want to shut off, so it's time to replace it. Okay, I've never replaced a faucet before, but hello, how hard can it be? You turn the water off, you unhook everything, you pull the old faucet on, you put the new faucet in, hook the hoses back up, turn the water on, Bob's your uncle, fan your shank, it's done. Oh, if I would have known, No, so I couldn't get, that's signature number one, I could not get the faucet off because, why? The bolts had leaked for so long, the bolts had rusted on. Well, I don't have that kind of strength. And so I was, you know, complaining to my beautiful friend Jen and just saying, don't you hate it when you're, you know, you're trying to do some kind of home repair or something, only one thing keeps you from doing it. And I, you know, was telling her what it was, and she volunteered, her and her boyfriend volunteered to come out and help. Oh yeah, he'll take those right off. Well, it necessitated pulling the sink out. So he pulled the sink out, got the bolts cut off, got the new faucet in, you know, and then when he put the sink in and was trying to tighten up, well, the bolts are stripped. So he couldn't get both edges of the sink to, or the right-hand side to sit tight like down, which necessitated more caulk. Well, then I made a mistake when I put the new drain pipe in there, that I put the gasket in upside down. However, the instructions told me how to do it, and that I did it exactly how they showed me. They did not write it down, you know, I type it out. English was not their first language, but they showed a picture, and I put it in exactly like they told me. And it was just this like sheet of paper like this, you know, not even anything on the back, just a thin piece of paper. Anyway, and so I was putting, needing to collapse the P-trap, because it was one of those extendable ones, and it needed to come down. Well, as I was compressing it, it broke. So I had to go back to the hardware store. Now, that was on Friday. I went between Friday morning and Tuesday afternoon. I made a trip to our local hardware store, not once, not twice, not 5 times, 8 times, ladies and gents, 8 times. 8 times. Oh, I didn't know the first time. I didn't know the diameter. Well, we need the diameter of the hose. Well, you didn't tell me that. Anyway, blah, 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 blah. That one that I showed you that we're going to do, this is the first one I did. Now, I got the idea to do these from junk mailers from the beautiful Mitz. And what I did is I will glue the entire thing down. I'm not going to make a back tuck. And then when we untie it, there we go. Anyway, I just didn't fix it down. So anyway, so that started the whole thing rolling. Meanwhile, they're over here doing their stuff. Now, I'm going to give a shout out. And I don't know any of my viewers live anywhere around Western Washington, but Chris over at Bob Larson Plumbing has gone above and beyond anything that I've ever so back to my sink, and we'll forget about what's going on over there. So okay, then I had to go get the new P-trap and all the tubing for that, so they sold me that kit. Okay, so now it's on to I love this background paper, by the way, and I love this one. This is like my favorite, I think, out of all of it. I won't remove this. Oh, isn't that pretty? Anyway, I couldn't, so I got that done, and then got all the tubes, the hosings hooked back up, and here's another one here. And then when I tried to turn the hot water on, it was what I thought was the hot water, more on that. The knob just was spewing water out. So back to the hardware store. I took the handle in, and they had to sell the whole thing, you know, the shut-off valve. I learned all this stuff. The shut-off valve. And get it back home. Okay. Easy, right? No. It wouldn't come off. The old one would not come off. I could not get it off to save my life. Now, this has necessitated already a bottle of wine for me. You know, by Sunday morning, it might have been Saturday morning, I had stopped at the liquor store at, oh my God, why are you drinking a wine this early? And had myself a glass because I got home and realized I didn't have the right part. I know, you should see the look on my face. So, you know, I came home, had a glass of fruit scotto, and then was calm enough that, okay, I can do this, and then I went back to the hardware store to get what I needed. Anyway, so I couldn't get it done. I, you know, texted the landlord, you know, the owner, Joe's brother, and said, this is what I've done, you know, I don't know. And then in the midst of not being able to get that part off, the drain was leaking. It kept leaking around, and even though I caulked it, and the caulk hadn't hardened, you know, hadn't cured. And then I tried to get that thing off, and somehow these weak little hands, these weak fingers that can't do anything, tightened that thing on so tight I couldn't get it off. And you know, I just sat down and I cried like the mature, capable, self-assured woman that I am. I sat down and boo-hooed and boo-hooed and boo-hooed. Anyway, so, you know, of course, I get it. You don't want to play a plumber. So he had said, well, maybe when they come out, because they'd already pulled the water heater for 24 hours. So Joe didn't have, that side of the house didn't have any hot water, different water lines. And then, though Chris was coming back the next morning, he says, well, maybe, you know, when he comes back, you can ask him if he can loosen it for you. And so I did. And the beautiful man that he is, he came right up once he was, you know, pulling out, because, okay, at that point, I think he was putting it back in. Yeah, he was putting it back in. So much has happened in a week. There's a pocket in the back, which I always kind of hate those because they're hard to get into. And then the pocket here. And look at how gorgeous that is. And then it flips up. And I just collaged some old book page. And anyway, so he did. He came right up. And then there was another problem. Because something about the hoses. And instead of, I went to the hardware store and it wasn't right. So anyway, long story short, he loosened both of those things for me, told me what I was doing wrong, gave me the plumber's putty that he had, a little tube of plumber's putty, and then gave me the correct hose. And then when it still wouldn't work because the hot and cold were messed up, even though I did it exactly, you know, universal, or at least here in the United States, cold is on the right, hot is on the left. No, it was backwards. And then because there was so much, get this size to convert it to that size, I was all confused, as you can tell. And so he told me, you take this hose off, put it on this one, and put this one on this, and it will work. And bless his soul, it did. And I told him, I said, you know, I like what I did here. Again, these triangles, instead of stacking them, I did one, so that's hard to see. So you've got an opening here, made it like a fan, and then an opening here. Anyway, all these stories. Can't keep track of what I'm doing. So anyway, it's all hooked up. I have this beautiful oil rub bronze waterfall faucet, which, truth be told, is not meant for the old sink that it's in. So if you turn it on very hard and, you know, not full blast, maybe halfway if you don't, because otherwise you stick your hand in there and then water goes everywhere. But it's wonderful because I can stick this whole thing underneath it and fill it up. So anyway, it's beautiful. It works perfectly, and I absolutely adore him to pieces. And I told him I never fill out a review. I rarely ever give reviews when you ask. But how do I give you a review? Because you're stellar. And so I did. And now I'm giving him a shout out here. And I'm going to tell him, because I'm going to see him again next week. Because I don't think you can hear it, but we have big fans going in there that are drying this area out. And that'll probably be until at least Monday. And then, of course, in order for them to repair the wall behind where the water heater is, I got to pull the water heater out again. So anyway, here's another cute little pocket that we will talk about. So his side is straightened almost, and my side, for the most part, is straightened. We're not even going to talk about what I found behind the vanity. Wait, isn't that double vision? Whoa. So this is what it looks like. There's just Purdy. I think it is. And more of this Birds and Bloom stuff out of the other side of the pocket. And here's pockets from book page that I made, that I had done. Get in there. There. And another part of this. I actually picked the spring summer catalog. Do this on. Oh, sorry. And this, more book page. There we go. So that only took 16 minutes. Anyway, so that's what's been going on. And the worst part, and there is a short video I took, and I'm not going to show it because apparently Donna said she couldn't even understand me. But I went out yesterday morning. Hang on, Slurpity. To about 9:20, and to clean out the chicken coop. And when I opened the side door where I gather the eggs, there was just like all these feathers, and one of the roosting bars was down, and I was like, man, there must have been a huge kerfluffle. Well, the roosting bar is down, so that meant they were all trying to clamber onto one. So, you know, somebody got beat up. And so I was looking around, counting my chickens. Like, you know, I was looking at the feathers and a couple of the chickens nearby, and I'm like, okay, well, it looks like that would be Gizmo's, but no, she's got all her feathers, and, well, it could be. And then I was like, no, those are white. That's got to be one, like Foghorn, you know, the collective. And I only found one. So I'm, you know, they're no longer free-ranging because I couldn't keep Isabeau from eating their excrement. And that's the nicest way I'm going to say that. So, I'm like, I only have one, and I'm looking all around thinking, you know, I must have miscounted. I really don't know what I'm doing. I'm just talking right now. This one. And then, as I was looking more, I realized that there were a bunch of feathers over in the corner where all the fences meet. And I realized something had gotten her. Something had gotten her inside the coop. And that there was a big fight because, obviously. Anyway, not sure what it is. And apparently I've been having nothing but problems with this stupid automatic pet door. You know, of course it stops working, you know, 6 months into having it, so you can't send it back. You know, I got it off of, you know, stupid China's on. And so I'd been out fighting with it. Sorry, I'm looking for papers. I'd been out fighting with it and thought that I had fixed it, but apparently I had not. I want to put that one in there too. And it was not closing. Here are some of the, I mean, look at those. Gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm trying to say, I'm so sorry. This is just very difficult. And then, it didn't close. It hadn't been closing. So, there you have it. So I shut it. Every time I shut it last night, it would open it back up halfway. So it's a solar powered one. And so I yanked where the cord from the solar panel is hooked into the door, I pulled that out, shut it, and immediately pulled that thing out before it could open back up again. And went out there a little bit ago and let them out. So these are the ones I have not used yet. So we are going to, we're just going to do this and shut up about it. Shut up and get scrapped in. Anyway, so that's what's been going on in my neck of the woods. So anyway, yesterday was a very, very difficult day. I was not expecting the restoration people to come yesterday, and here I am. You know, it just gotten my sobbing under control, and I'm cleaning out the coop, because, you know, I was saying all sorts of not nice things about people. You know, I knew I should have put that around. Oh, you don't need that. Well, I knew I should have put that around that fence because, no, they said no, you don't need. Oh, yeah, it was bad. It was bad. You know how you are when you're just. I was that torn up over a chicken. Oh my God, I kept saying, it's a chicken. Yeah. It was one of my layers. It was one of the foghorn ones, the leghorns. Yeah, I'm just. Anyway. I told Isabeau she is a piss poor chicken guardian. Just bad. I don't know when it happened. So I made sure that the sun, while not completely up, was not that early dawn. I don't even know the proper term for it. You know, the opposite of dusk. When they can see. Anyway, so these people showed up to check on, to do, take some of the flooring off. Because they took the gross, what do they call that, laminate, the plank things that you click together, the cheap stuff. I mean, trust me, these people did not spare any expense. They did it on the cheap, which I understand that. That is not right. That is not right. See, I'm talking. No, it is. It's right. See, I cannot even trust myself today. I am sorry that you're going on this journey with me, because I am just all over the place, discombobulated, and don't know what's going on. And on top of all of that, I'm in physical therapy, and it is literally kicking my booty. And I do have physical therapy here later in a couple hours. So this is probably all we're going to get done today, because I can't stop yapping. Less yapping, more slapping, right? So yeah, it's not been fun around here. So anyway, they show up, and I'm like, go down there, and poor guy, I just started sobbing again. And they're like, oh, we're so sorry. And I'm like, I'm bawling over this chicken. And it's like, and Mitzi was like, you know, creatures are gonna. I thought it was a raccoon at first, but I really think it might have been an owl. I don't know. Just based on what I have seen, where it says, somebody posted in one of the chicken groups, these are the signs. If you see this is most probably what it is. And according to it, I saw a bunch of feathers and no carcass. So ergo, it must have been an owl, because it was, as far as I know, it was overnight. I don't know. I just know that she was there the night before. Was she there when she went to bed? Did it get him before? I don't know. Because, I don't know. I was relying on an automatic chicken door that has been giving me fits and starts. So you know I'm going to be emailing that company and saying, hey, look now. How do I, I've tried all of these things. What do I do now? So yeah, it was just, it was heartbreaking. Just heartbreaking. Oh. I tell you, I don't know. I might just be too tender-hearted for chicken keeping. I mean, I get the circle of life. I get that. I get that. But, so Missy's telling, creatures will be creatures, and, trying to make me feel better about, it's not my fault, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, they can go be creatures. It's somebody else's chickens, and leave mine alone. Yeah. And what I'm trying to do, because of where I'm putting this, is not kind of cover up as much pink. So it's not like pink on pink and blech. Not that I don't like pink. So yeah, and like I said, in between all of this, I'm going to physical therapy twice a week. And, what I thought was sciatica was in fact just weakness from the stupid MS. So yeah, it is quite painful. Surprising. I was like telling somebody, a friend, I'm like, you know what? I went to physical therapy for my knee back in December, you know, the last half of 2016, and I do not remember being this wiped out. But I have been. So, you know, I'm not sleeping because I'm in so much pain. It just didn't work. And then, you know, with all this stuff that's going on, and yeah, it's just, but things are looking up now. Things are getting better. Things are getting better, as they always do. Yeah. So now I'm back down to 6 hens. It was one of the good layers. She must have been the closest to the door. That's all I can say, because she must have been closest to the door. But I never, ever, ever want to see that again. And again, you know, I don't have a camera out there. I can't see unless I go outside the door, and most times up the steps. And just doing my plumbing part and all the hiccups I was having, and the strength that it takes to do that I don't have, I was just worn out every night. I just completely worn out. And so I posted on my Facebook page. You know, I found, finally, I looked and looked and looked and found, oh, I put that on upside down. Oh, crap on a crap. Oh, well, I'm leaving it. I can cover it up. And put in I channeled Scarlett O'Hara, and one of her iconic scenes is, you know, she goes home to Tara after the Civil War and the burning of Atlanta and everything, and the crops are wiped out, and they're starving, and she was trying to find food, and that startled me. Papers fell. Anyway, all that stuff. And she's standing there, and she's backlit, and she gives a speech, and she goes, "As God is my witness, I will never go hungry again." Well, I just changed that hungry to plumbing. And posted on my Facebook, "As God is my witness, I'll never do plumbing again." Oh my gosh. But I'm telling you, this Chris, if you live in Western Washington and need plumbing done, check out Bob Larson. And as for Chris, I don't know at what point I got old enough to call a 35-year-old man a kid, but he's a kid. But he's a cute, sweet, mannerly, knowledgeable, friendly. Cannot say enough good things about him. I truly cannot. Anyway, so what has been going on in y'all's necks of the woods? Now, some of these, I might just be able to use that and just slide that right in there. Yeah. It may not go. Hang on, I'm thinking and talking at the same time. Always an issue. There we go. I'm trying to think. I'm thinking. You know what? I think I'll just put that in there. My hands hurt. Anyway, so yeah. Definitely ask for Chris. But yeah, young man. He's only 5 years older than my son. And I just don't understand how I got that old. I just don't. You know, and I know there are other people out there going, "Oh, 53 is not old," you know. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Anyway, so I had to call the company, this restoration people, to come out. Better come out. Called them because the big fan they plugged in, one of them, it tripped the breaker again. Because, you know, we have an older house, and apparently you know, accurate wiring was not important to them. Pencil mark there. So all I'm going to do is slip this in here. Come on, in, down. And then I'm just going to glue this part. I guess I should explain this and stop talking about the plumbing. Now, Mitzi probably, you know how I am with thinking I can't explain anything worth a darn. Basically, what you do is oh, come on now. You take an envelope, a junk mail envelope, a long one. Doesn't have to have a window. Do whatever you wish on that. Darn it. Come on. I'm talking so much, nothing's working. And then you make mark to wherever you want it to flap down. And then you just cut that part out so you leave the back, and then it makes a flap. Now this one was a little bit trickier because I decided to, once I, faced it, I'm so sorry. I'm trying to explain. I used my die cut, my butterfly die cuts, and cut out the butterflies, and then put acetate. There, I explained it. I did it. I did it. I'm going to just see if I can just snip that off of there without cutting anything, but I probably won't be able to, and then I'll get mad, and then I'll cry, because it's just been a crying kind of week for me. Probably not going to look the best. That's alright. That's alright, Mama. I'm going to do that later. It's not going to work for me. Anyway, so there we all have that. And this is all I'm going to have time to do on this one. So when you put it on here, it's not going to be so overwhelmingly pink. And I haven't decided yet if I'm going to do another ribbon enclosure. Now, the issue that I had with the other one, I believe it was this one. We'll have to look at it. I didn't. I must have made another one where it wasn't long enough, so I had to glue. Anyway, I just think that just turned out gorgeous with this ribbon to hold it down. Anyway, let's see. We can do another one of those, or let me get my ribbons. Ribbonsies. I bought a bunch of these thin ribbons at Walmart when I was there, but now I can't find one I like. So, pin and glue. I know this video is just all over the place. I'm hoping that, in the next couple days I can get a handle on this just being white and be able to do something fun. Now this pocket, I took I embossed it on some watercolor paper. And then I took some of my oxides and just tried to do like sunrise or sunset or however you would wish for it. Alright, so we are at 33 minutes. Boy, it feels like I've been talking for friggin' ever. Here's another pocket that I just did that with. So let us finish this one and get set to rights. Okay, do I want to do the yellow again? Blue? No. Just green? Yes. Don't care, we're just doing it. And I don't think I'm going to cover these. I really don't think I'm... Oh, the level. Why do I have a level on my desk? Because y'all know I've talked about it plenty of times about how everything has to be even, straight, and all that stuff. Well, today has been one of those days where I actually I'm hitting my forehead with this. Actually, had to put a level on it because it was just, I'm telling you, it's been a week and I've just been so tired and emotional and I just can't handle crooked right now. Just can't. No. No. And I have a crooked house. Just, I know. First world problems, right? Just, I think you all know how it is, you know, when you're just not feeling great, how everything, your coping mechanisms, as I call it, because I had an extra relative, that's all I'll say about that, you know, try to kind of force me out of my, you know, the little things, like things being even straight from, you know, or all the light switches having to face the same direction. That is a very real thing, by the way. This is a very real thing. And I was like thinking, has it ever occurred to you that the reason she has them too, but you know, it's easier to blame someone, to make someone else feel bad about theirs than to confront your own. Anyway, I was like, have you ever thought that maybe, just maybe, these things are the only thing keeping me holding my shit together? So all of you out there that have OCD issues, and you know, all the, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Don't let anybody make you feel bad about them, because that might be the only thing keeping you from really having worse issues. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And I'm not making light. I really am not. I mean, I'm not making fun of anyone. They're very real, and I completely understand it. And so it's like, but I have to make light of it, because what else am I going to do? Get mad and cry all the time? No, I'm not. So that'll go there quite nicely. But first, I need to, or I want to, just sticky it down. Some washi tape over it. I've got my sticky scissors and my not sticky scissors. Alright. So before I do that, I want to come here. So anyway, yeah. Okay, back to this thing and the fan's not going off. I forgot to finish that. So I called them last night, you know, I tripped the breaker, I turned it back on, blah, 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 and she's like, okay, well, if it does it again, she says, just unplug it, and I'll send the guys out tomorrow morning. So the guys are coming out today. And I just realized I need to put a, I don't know if anyone else has this issue when they make envelopes. Gosh, darn it, I had a hard time seeing that. With them tearing at the folds. I have it all of the time. All of the time. I do not know how to fix it. So if anyone has an idea how to keep these from tearing, please tell me. Tell me. Because I just can't figure it out. And it happens all of the time. So I have been using these Monet inspired ones for a lot of it. And since we're using a green ribbon, we're going to use the green. Come on. Did I do it enough? I'm concentrating, I'm sorry. Yeah, so it's been a doozy of a time. I kind of abandoned, yeah, I said it, the project I was doing for Suzanne, her line dot arrow. I bought her industrial grunge journal kit because and no offense to anyone, her kit is gorgeous. I'm down to the decorating, and I just don't do steampunk. It's because it's anachronistic, and I don't like that. It just bothers me. It just always has. And that whole H.G. Wells type of thing, just not into it. So now I'm to the point of decorating, and I'm like, oh, now I don't know what to do. I don't like any of them, and blah, 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 blah. So I found this kit, and was like, And that's where we are. And I will go back to it. You know, it's not that I'm not a design team member, so it's not like I have to, oh my gosh, get this done right away. So I am perfectly fine with not. I don't want to cut that off. Alright. So I'm looking, what am I looking forward to? I don't know. Nothing. At this point, I'm looking forward to that being done. And eventually, fingers crossed, I want to use this other one. Maybe, I know that I have a hard time getting washi tape to stick, glue to stick to it, to stick down. So I will try this Tombow and see what that does. Anyway, you know, I have even worse issues in my area behind that vanity than I get. Oh my gosh. You know, it was the cost. You know, that, and I was really irritated, you know, if and when they ever do my area. I was really irritated because, you know, I just painted that behemoth of a wall. You know, it's been a few months, but still. And I did it off of a, gallon of paint that I bought for $4.50. And it turned out to be a beautiful color. Well, I like the color. It's like this nice sage green, darker sage. Anyway, and I absolutely love it. And it took forever because it's like a 11-foot wall, and so I had Donna's magic ladder. That's why I call it a magic ladder, where it extends. I can't imagine you can think of a way it won't extend. You know, it extends flat, and then the length, both ends go this way. If you have an A-frame, it lifts up. You can have one leg go one way. Yeah, it's a beautiful ladder. I want one just like it. Anyway, so, you know, I had that, and I'm like, I don't want to have to turn around, and how am I going to get that paint? And then I'm going to have to match it, and it's not going to cost me just $4.50, blah, blah, blah. And so I was railing to Chris about it when he came over the last time, and he says, you know what? He said, that's not a problem. He says, because the insurance not only, well, because it's that wall. It's this wall, the stair wall that, you know, that the vanity is against. And he says, not only will they find the paint and match it, he says they'll paint it for you because it's covered by insurance. There, I really suck at tying bows. I really do. Anyway, so that's not very good, but there that is. Stay. So yeah, that's where we're at. So I'm honestly not looking forward to any of it. Nor am I holding my breath. So I probably should. This page, I'm gonna show you how to do this pocket real quick. It's very simple. I got it off of Jules Designs, I'm so sorry, but I just cannot think right now what her name is. I just can't. I'm looking for a piece of paper. A decent, I'll just use the other one. Alright, so what you're going to do is fold it like this. That's what I did. Folded it like that. And then, while you do want it folded this way, I'm going to do a very light fold. So I can do the corners. Stay. And then just kind of fold these in however. Book page, so you don't really. And then, because you're going to glue those in and these back. Because technically, anyway, however, and then to whatever degree you want that folded. And so there it goes. And like this one, which one did I put it in? I know you guys saw it. Here it is. So what I will do when I could do is glue this. So this won't show, but you can always cover that up with paper. And then just glue them down. Stick these little suckers down there. Boop. It's like the easiest pocket on the planet. And who cares if it matches, because it's not going to be on the same side of the page. If anybody wants to criticize you, well, myself included, and I'm not saying criticizing you, I'm saying criticizing myself. Let them. They can just say whatever they want. It doesn't affect you anyway. There. And then just a little sliver down the middle. Boop. There you go. Here is a pocket or a tuck or however you want it. And if you really wanted to, you could glue those down and make it an actual pocket, which I think I will do on this one. So I have PT this morning, and then I have to rush home in case these guys show up to. Hopefully it will only be another, maybe Monday before that, when that wall is dry enough that they can start putting everything to rights and we can have our kitchen back. Anyway, so here we are. This is the Gladiolus journal at this point from Elizabeth over at Petals and Parchment. Run and buy it. It's on her Ko-fi shop, Ko-fi, however you say it. And thank you for joining me on my ramble today. It is just, I'm still foggy-headed and just so tired. Oh my gosh. That's what chronic illnesses do to you, little bastards. They make everything harder than it needs to be. And so does plumbing. Because God is my witness, I will never do plumbing again. That's why they make the big bucks, and I will never begrudge them for that. Ever. Oh my gosh, it's a nightmare. Anyway, on that note, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Cannot thank you enough. And until the next time, I bid you adieu. Peace out. Bye, guys.